Imagine a river, winding through a landscape, shaping the destiny of an entire nation. The Gambia River, a serpentine stretch of water coursing over 1,000 miles, has played a leading role in a unique tale of nationhood. This is the story of the Gambia, the smallest mainland African country, born from the banks of this life-giving river. From its source in the highlands of Guinea, the river snakes its way through Senegal, carving out a narrow path of fertile land that would become the Gambia. The river was more than just a source of water. It was the lifeblood of trade, a gateway for colonial powers, a cradle of culture. Its banks bore witness to centuries of change, from the rise and fall of empires to the birth of a nation. This is the story of the Gambia, a country born out of a river's journey. Our tale begins in the 15th century with the arrival of the Portuguese explorers. Drawn by tales of a vast river teeming with life, these early seafarers braved the unknown waters of the Atlantic, seeking new lands and riches. Their ships, slicing through the azure waves, found their way to the mouth of the Gambia River. The river with its winding path was a lifeline through the dense, lush greenery of West Africa. These explorers were followed by traders, who established trading posts along the riverbanks. They bartered with the local communities, exchanging European goods for African commodities such as gold, ivory, and later, sadly, human lives. The river, once a symbol of life and sustenance, became a route for the infamous transatlantic slave trade. Yet the river also became a meeting ground, a place of cultural exchange. New ideas, practices, and beliefs flowed along its course, shaping the sociocultural fabric of the region. The communities along the riverbanks, in their interactions with the Portuguese and other Europeans, evolved and adapted. Their lives intertwined with the ebb and flow of the river. Thus began a new chapter in the river's tale, one marked by trade, power, and conflict. But as we'll see, this was just the beginning. The river had many more stories to tell, tales of resilience, struggle, and ultimately triumph. As the colonial powers grew, so did their hunger for wealth and resources. This insatiable appetite set the stage for what would become known as the triangular trade. This system was a complex web of trade routes that connected Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Europe supplied the manufactured goods, Africa provided the labor in the form of enslaved men and women, and the Americas offered raw materials like sugar and cotton. This triangular trade had profound effects on the Gambia, especially its economy. The Gambia River, with its easy access to the Atlantic, became an essential conduit for moving goods and people. Trading posts sprouted along its banks, growing into bustling hubs of commerce. The wealth generated from this trade, however, was unevenly distributed. The lion's share went into the pockets of European merchants and colonial administrators, leaving only crumbs for the local population. Yet the impact of the triangular trade was not just economic. It also brought about significant social changes. Enslaved Gambians were torn from their families and communities, their culture and traditions suppressed. Meanwhile, European culture and religion seeped into Gambian society, leaving indelible marks that are still visible today. Ultimately, the triangular trade altered the course of the Gambia's history. The Gambia River, once a lifeline for its people, had become a conduit for Europe's greed. The echoes of this past still reverberate in the Gambia today, reminding us of a time when human lives were traded for profit. In the shadows of trade and prosperity, a struggle for power was brewing. The Gambia, a river nurturing an emerging nation, found itself at the heart of a fierce rivalry. Two European titans, France and Britain, locked eyes over this seemingly insignificant stretch of water. But why? The answer lies in the river's strategic value. It was a gateway to the interior of Africa, a lifeline to a wealth of resources. Whoever controlled the river, in essence, held the keys to the continent. France, with its foothold in neighboring Senegal, saw the Gambia as a natural extension of its influence. Britain, however, had already established a presence and was not about to let go without a fight. These two empires, each with its own vision of Africa's future, clashed over the Gambia. Diplomatic negotiations turned sour, treaties were broken, and tensions escalated into open conflict. The riverbanks, once bustling with merchants and traders, were now lined with soldiers, their guns trained on the opposing side. Caught in the crossfire were the Gambians themselves, their fate tossed around like a pawn in a high-stakes game of chess. The river that had given them life was now threatening their very existence. The Gambia had become more than just a river. It was a prize to be won, a symbol of imperial ambition. The river had become a battleground, its fate hanging in the balance. The 18th century brought with it a war that would change the river's course forever. This was the 7 Years' War, a global conflict that sparked a power struggle among the world's greatest empires. At stake was control over vast territories, including our river's homeland, the Gambia. At the heart of this conflict were two formidable rivals, Britain and France. Their rivalry extended across continents, and the Gambia was no exception. This tiny sliver of land became a battleground where these two empires vied for dominance. Though the battles were fierce, the outcome was decisive. Britain emerged victorious, gaining control over the Gambia. This change in rulership was more than just a shift in power. It was a turning point that would shape the Gambia's future. With British control came new systems and structures. The riverbanks saw the rise of forts, trading posts, and settlements. The Gambia was gradually transformed from a mere trading outpost to a full-fledged colony. This change was not without its challenges. There were tensions and resistance. Yet under British rule, the Gambia began to evolve, to grow and to find its own identity. The river was now under British rule, a change that would guide its path towards independence. The tides had turned, and with them, the destiny of the Gambia was forever altered. As the winds of change swept across Africa, so too did they stir the people of the Gambia. The mid-20th century marked a time of great transformation. The seed of independence was sown, and the Gambians, who had been under the yoke of British colonial rule for over a century, were ready to claim their freedom. But the road to independence was not an easy one. Challenges were faced and sacrifices were made. The people of the Gambia, however, were undeterred. They rallied behind their leaders, united in their quest for self-governance. The struggle was long and the journey was difficult, but the spirit of the Gambians was unbreakable. In the midst of these challenges, a leader emerged. Sir Dawda Jawara, a veterinarian by profession, rose to the forefront of the independence movement. His charisma, leadership, and commitment to the cause galvanized the people. Under his guidance, the Gambia navigated the complex pathway to independence. And then on the 18th of February 1965, a momentous event took place. The Gambia, the small West African nation cradled by the river, finally gained its independence. The British Union Jack was lowered, and in its place the Gambian flag was hoisted high. The dream of freedom had finally become a reality. From the banks of a river, a sovereign nation had emerged. A fast forward to today, and the Gambia stands as a testament to its history. It's a country that's come a long way since its colonial days, and it's still evolving. Politically, it's a democratic republic with a multi-party system, and its government is working tirelessly to build a society that values human rights, equality, and justice. Socially, the Gambia is a melting pot of diverse ethnic groups, each contributing to the rich tapestry of its culture. Economically, it's a developing nation, grappling with challenges but also brimming with potential. Agriculture remains the backbone of its economy, while tourism is steadily gaining ground, thanks to its pristine beaches, abundant wildlife, and warm hospitality. But it's the spirit of its people that truly defines the Gambia. Resilient, vibrant, and hopeful, they are the heart of this nation, shaping its future with every passing day. The river continues to flow, as does the life of this vibrant nation. The Gambia may be small, but it is a melting pot of diverse cultures and traditions. Its ethnic groups, each with their unique languages and customs, coexist harmoniously, enriching the nation's cultural landscape. The vibrant music, dance, and art forms that have emerged from this confluence are testament to the Gambia's rich heritage. The cuisine, a blend of African, European, and Arab influences, is another delicious example of its cultural diversity. Every ripple in the river tells a story of this rich cultural tapestry. As we gaze upon the flowing waters of the Gambia River, we reflect. This river, a silent witness to centuries of transformation, has shaped a nation's destiny. From its early colonial beginnings to its triumphant stride towards independence, the Gambia River's tale intertwines with that of its people. It's a testament to how history seeps into the present, molding societies and cultures. From a river to a nation, the Gambia's tale is one of resilience, transformation, and hope. The Gambia's story doesn't end here. Its history is a rich tapestry, woven with the threads of colonial struggle, economic transformation, and a relentless pursuit of independence. The culture shaped by these events is vibrant and diverse, a testament to the resilience of its people. Each one of you is an explorer. Dive deeper, delve into the annals of the Gambia's past, embrace its culture. Join us again as we explore more tales of our shared past. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning.